Hello there, many of you may know that the rules that are going to take effect from the 1st of January 2019 were announced and unveiled to us all in early March this year. After a period of considerable consultation and review, some of the proposals that were put forward originally have remained. In fact, many of them, one or two, have changed a little from that. Now, golf is a very complex game to govern. It's never going to be a really short rule book, but it is going to be shorter than it was before. Those looking for a really short rule book, well, every time you think of a scenario, there's always a what if attached to it. But what if your ball's in a water hazard, etc., etc. But what if it's gone in at this point, gone in over there? There are always what ifs. So the golf rule book is never going to be a mere pamphlet. As I say, some of the original proposals, many of them have gone through, others haven't. So the rule book at the moment is about 233 pages, I think. It's going to come down, if what is on the R&A's website is correct, to around 150, 160 pages. That's the full edition. But there is also going to be a player's edition, a shorter, abridged version written in the second person. So you, rather than referring to the player, you will need to do this, you will need to do that. And that is going to be a much shorter book, and hopefully one that you can find the rule you need to find when you need to find it more quickly out on the golf course. Now in this video here we're going to look at some of the ones that changed from how they originally proposed and why they changed, and then we're just going to pick out 10 that have caught my eye, explain what's happening with those rules, the rationale for that, and then also give our view on those. So let's look at a couple of things that have changed from the original proposals. One of those was how you're going to drop. In the original proposals it was suggested that you could drop from any height, so right down just an inch above the ground. The existing shoulder height is what's in place at the moment. Now we know that it's definitely going to be from knee height, so much lower than it used to be, but not quite so low that the ball is just dropping a very small amount. And also on the dropping front, measuring. When the proposals first came out, there were going to be these two measurements of 20 and 80 inches, which I think the idea was people were going to mark on the shafts of their golf clubs. That's now been done away with, and drops will be the longest club in your bag, but not the putter. So the idea there is you get the relief of the longest club, typically the driver, but you don't get that extra bit that would sometimes perhaps give you an unfair advantage if you were still using a long putter. That seems a slightly unfair advantage, doesn't it? That will no longer be the case. Drops will be with the longest club in your bag, but not the putter. Another rule that's changing, who remembers TC Chen in the US Open double hitting it and suffering a penalty when he was contending for the lead? That's going to be done away with. Double hits, multiple hits will be no penalty. You will just play the ball where it's ended up, and the idea there is that more often than not, when you double hit it, it doesn't go where you want it to, so you're already disadvantaged anyway relative to where you are perhaps expecting to be if you'd played a good shot. We've relocated to one of the putting greens here at Pinhal Golf Club in Portugal, and the reason for that is 3 of the 10 that I wanted to talk about relate to what you can and can't do on the putting green. Some of those things are changing from the 1st of January 2019. Now, you may have thoughts on what's going on in the new rules. Let us know below, leave your comments. We'll reply wherever possible, and if you're liking this video, then let us know by clicking on the like button there. Over the right shoulder here is the flagstick. Now from 2019, you're going to be able to putt from on the putting green with the flagstick in. If the ball strikes the flagstick, there is going to be no penalty. The idea there is that's going to speed play up a little bit maybe. You haven't got people wandering back and forth when everyone's got a long putt. You can, in theory, then just tap in without taking the flagstick out, and I think the rationale is that the flagstick will stop the ball going in as many times as it encourages it to go in, so it's a kind of 50-50 win some, lose some scenario. That is one of the rules for the putting green that's going to change. Another is that if you move your ball on the putting green accidentally, there's no longer going to be any penalty at all under the rules of golf for doing so. You must replace the ball. The idea there is that greens have got quicker over the years, more slopey maybe. The ball is more likely to move. Was it the wind? Was it you causing it to move by standing near the ball, putting your putter down near the ball? To do away with all the doubt about that, it's now just going to be no penalty and the ball must be replaced. It's not as though you're trying to gain any advantage when you're just going about your normal business of preparing to putt. So no penalty there. And the third one on the putter green that's changing from 2019 is that you're going to be able to repair damage other than just pitch marks. That's all you can really do at the moment. From 2019 you're going to be able to repair spike marks, heel damage from shoes, that kind of thing, animal damage maybe if that's on the green. So you're going to best be able to tend to the line of your putt much more than you can do at the moment. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I suppose in theory it takes a lot less time to tap down a spike mark than it does to repair a pitch mark. We did used to have a column in Golf Monthly with Tony Jacklin. He told us that back in the 70s, I think it was, the European Tour did introduce a rule where players were allowed to tap down spike marks, and he said it took forever and the rule was withdrawn after a year. So hopefully that won't be the case with this one, and people won't go to silly extremes gardening on the line of their putt. One of the others we were going to touch on here, we've actually already touched on. Away from the putting green, if you double hit the ball, there's no longer going to be a penalty. You just play the ball as it lies, which is generally probably not going to be to your favour. And another one that's changing, we're a greenside location, lots of bunkers around the greens. From 2019, you're going to be able to move loose impediments in bunkers. At the moment, the only ones you can touch sometimes are stones, but only when there's a local rule in force allowing you to do so. If there isn't, then you can't. But that can be quite dangerous, I guess, stones flying up into eyes and so on. The other things you can't touch, pine cones, twigs, acorns, anything natural. From 2019, you will be able to move those if they're lying around your ball in a bunker with no penalty. And the idea is that the R&A feel that the challenge of a bunker shot is the ability to play or not be able to play from the sand, rather than have to contend with other stuff that might be lying around your ball. So I think that's another good change for 2019. While we're on the subject of bunkers, there's going to be another unplayable ball option available to you in bunkers from 2019. At the moment, if you take an unplayable lie in a bunker and you proceed under options B or C, that is dropping within 2 club lengths or going back on line, you have to drop within the bunker. You can still go back under stroke and distance if you so wish. From 2019, you'll also be able to drop back on line outside the bunker. And that will cost you an extra stroke, so it will be a 2-stroke penalty. So if you're on a par 3, you've hit your tee shot into an unplayable lie in the bunker, you really don't think you've got much of a chance. You're worried maybe that it's going to plug if you drop it in the sand. You can drop back on line outside the bunker, and then you'd be playing your 4th shot, hopefully, back over the bunker and onto the green. Now there's a couple of other things that are changing when it comes to searching for a ball as well. The first, and I think most people are aware of this one probably, the search time at the moment is 5 minutes. From 2019, that's going to be 3 minutes, down to 3 minutes. And I think there's 2 reasons. A, pace of play is a big topic at the moment. Hopefully that will speed things up just a little bit, and it also maybe will encourage more people to hit provisional balls just a little more often. Let us know what you think of that one below. And again, if you're enjoying the video, please let us know by liking. The other thing to note with regard to search is that you're no longer going to be penalised if you stand on your own ball and move it while you're searching for it. At the moment, there's this slightly odd situation where you maybe don't search quite as earnestly as the others, quite as vigorously as the others in your group, because if you stand on it, you'll be penalised. If it moves, if they stand on it, you won't be penalised. You will still have to replace the ball as closely as possible to the original spot. If you're not quite sure exactly what the original spot was, you have to estimate and approximate it as well as possible. So no penalty when you're searching for your ball and you stand on it and move it. I think that's a good idea because A, you're not trying to gain an advantage, and B, you need to be the one who's kind of ringlead in the search, if you like. It's your ball, you're the one that's most concerned about it, and it seems a bit odd that you should be the one most discouraged from leading the search. Finally, just to finish this little rules video about the new rules, please be aware we can't possibly cover everything here. The R&A sent through a document detailing 30 key changes with the reason and rationale. If we were to do all 30, we'd be here for some considerable time, probably a lot longer than you want to watch. But just to finish off, there are 2 rules that currently are available via local rule that are going to change to being main rules that can, if you want, be outlawed by local rule. And those 2 are distance measuring devices, DMDs, which have become so common and widespread in the game, and relief for embedded balls away from the closely mown areas. At the moment, you can only take relief for an embedded ball on the closely mown areas gratis, free of charge, as it were. From 2019, that will apply to through the green, which is becoming a new term, the general area. So the term through the green is disappearing. That's becoming the general area, and that will refer to the rough and other areas, but not sand, not bunkers. So free relief for embedded balls from 2019. I think a lot of people assume that's the case anyway. It's not, unless there's local rule in force. And also, probably most people assume that's the case with distance measuring devices. Again, they are only available to use via local rule, but I would imagine some 80-90% of clubs have that local rule in force. From 2019, swapping round will be allowed under the rules, but clubs could, if they so choose, outlaw them. I doubt whether many will take up that option on either of those. So that's a little summary of some of the things happening in the new rules from 2019. Keep your eyes on Golf Monthly's rule pages, on our video channel on YouTube. We'll be putting out more information about these in the weeks and months to come. If you like this video, let us know below and leave us your comments. What do you think about the new rules? Good, bad, some bad? Let us know.